This broadcast is a Stephen K. Media production.
The success of the small business person is the cornerstone of the American economy. Welcome to the Small Business Today Show with your hosts, Cruz and Hughes. The Small Business Today Show is for and about small business advancement and development. What we do for you. We'll be taking your calls as we provide you small business intelligence and mentorship needed to grow your business creatively. Keep listening. The Small Business Today Show with Cruz and Hughes starts now.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes right here on Blog Talk Radio, where we come at you live each day, Monday through Friday from 5 p.m. Central Standard Time all the way to the 6 o'clock hour. Guys, this is the place where we discuss the topics that inspires entrepreneurs from thought to action. So prepare to be inspired today. We have a great guest in the studio, and we're going to talk a little bit about public relations. If you want to join the conversation, feel free to give us a call. You can reach us right here in the studio at 347-857-3958. Again, that number is 347-857-3958. Irv?
Sir.
How was your day today, sir?
Man, my day just got better, folks. Let me tell you what, if you are watching us right now on Ustream.tv, if you're not watching us, treat yourself if you're listening to the show right now around the country. Go to cruzandhughes.com, scroll down, click on our Ustream so you can see Sheriff John Cruz is in studio with us, and you might guess that we're even broadcasting from Texas. You might guess that.
Well, Irv is alluding to the fact that I am wearing a 10-gallon Stetson hat. And if you know anything about living in the state of Texas, we have something that's called Go Texan Day.
That's right.
And no real Texan would show up to work on Go Texan Day without a cowboy hat on. Am I right or am I wrong?
Well, no, you're right about that. Maybe I was born in New York City. I don't know. But
were you born in Texas?
Yeah, I was born in Texas.
Well, where's your cowboy hat?
Man, I didn't know it was Go Texan Day.
Wait, how could you not know?
Well, I didn't see your hat. If I'd seen your hat, I'd have had a clue.
Well, I'm going to keep my hat on for at least the first segment because it is Go Texan Day. And again, if you want to join the conversation, feel free. You can give us a call at 347-857-3958. Irv, I got a couple calls today who were requesting information on the next upcoming class.
Oh, that's right.
I'm going to tell you something. I do a show also on another station that will go unnamed on this one. And we bring Irv on from time to time. And Irv talks about his class.
Right.
And you guys know Irv. I mean, he's an eloquent speaker. I mean, he gets right to the point. He gives you the information that you need to be able to take advantage of the class that he provides. But do the people call Irv? No, they don't.
No, they don't.
They call my office and they ask me about all the information that they need on the in the class. So we got a few calls again today.
All right.
Where do you want me to direct these people?
Okay, if you're calling John Cruz, John is not the guy who can give you all of the information. If you want to make sure that you get out to our seminars and our training classes, you want to call 800-381-0073 or visit us on the web at www.net30, that's net30credit.com.
Okay. And again, that class that you teach, you do it about every 2 weeks?
Yeah, about every 2 weeks. We just finished a training cycle, and we just finished our second training cycle. And then at the beginning of March, we'll have our next seminar and training cycle.
Okay. And and do you know about what day that is?
Yeah.
already?
Oh, yeah. The seminar is going to be on March 1st. Friday, March 1st. And it's going to be at the same place. It's going to be at the Kingdom Builder Center at 6011 West Orem.
So if you're in the Houston area and you want to get into being a government supply contractor, Irv is definitely the man that you want to pair yourself up with. You should make certain that you are in attendance if you are here. Now, Irv, I know that you're working on making certain that this class can be broadcast over the internet.
That's right.
How's that coming?
It's coming.
It's
coming. Right now we're overcoming a technology issue.
Okay. Much as we are here on this show with Stephen K.
That's exactly right.
I do understand how that goes. He didn't have a microphone plugged up, so before he turns mine off, I can keep talking.
Yeah. No, hopefully he won't turn your mic off.
But anyway, we want to see you guys get in that class. Irv is working on being able to broadcast live from your venue.
That's right.
I think over YouTube. Am I correct?
Yeah. We're gonna open a YouTube channel.
Okay.
So that everybody will get the benefit of seeing it. And let me just tell you, folks, the response has just been fantastic. Thank you so much for your support of our programs, and I've been really humbled by it, quite frankly, John, at the rate of speed that people have really embraced this level of training in a program with this kind of detail involved.
Well, I tell you what, I mean, we've sent several people to the course, and you're getting nothing but accolades, and so all I can say is keep doing the good work. And I've met several of the students that you put through the course.
That's right.
I mean, you're putting through some talent.
Absolutely.
I'm impressed with the people that are coming through, and they seem eagerly. They're eagerly approaching the information that you're giving them, and they're doing what you're telling them to do, so they should be successful.
Absolutely, and the success has already started. We had an announcement last night that the very first of our graduates, 60 days from training, has already landed their first government contract.
Wow. Now, as soon as that contract has been fulfilled and money has exchanged hands, we need to bring that person on the air.
Absolutely, and I've already teed them up for that, John.
Well, we'll be looking to hear from them very soon.
Sure.
Now, we have a great guest. If you're watching us on Cruz and Hughes, remember you can always watch our live feed, our live stream, by going to www.cruzandhughes.com. That's CRUISE, like Tom Cruise, no relation, and AND Hughes, like who's the famous Hughes?
Like Howard. What are you saying? Like Howard Hughes, folks, but no relation I can prove.
Right, but we're still working on that.
We're working on that.
If there's any of that estate left to be handed
I got some great folks here at Baylor College of Medicine who are working diligently on DNA mapping.
DNA every week.
That's exactly right.
Well, anyway, it's cruzandhughes.com, and Hughes is HUGHES. Our guest today is Miss Laura Pennino, and she's the CEO of Pennino and Partners, and she has more than 30 years of journalism and public relations experience. And Laura has a keen understanding of the U.S. media environment and uses that expertise to enhance the marketing strategies, public and media relations for startups, philanthropists, nonprofits, and large corporate clients. And if you are in small business, then you know that PR is important to you. Laura, we want to say welcome to the show.
Thank you, guys. I am honored to be here.
Oh, no, we are honored to be in your presence today. You've sent some of your clients here. You work with some of the best people, so naturally we had to get you here.
Yeah, but I had to have so much fun with you guys.
Well, that's true. That's true, because we do have a good time.
I know.
It's a prerequisite.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, you know, it's the end of the business day. This is the end of the business week. And thank goodness we didn't start the show with Irv's.
Oh, my goodness.
You know, Irv starts every Friday, Laura, with a complaint session. This is radio. I almost said something else.
Rant.
But it's a short one, Laura. It's a short one. Now what we do,
short, like as in 15 minutes, maybe.
No, it's not 15 minutes. No, not at all. No, you know what? We're very positive on the show, as you know, and as we go about our daily business throughout the week, every once in a while we run across something that's just ridiculous. And so, you know, we'll catalog that, and we don't talk about those things, but we give ourselves a few minutes each week to get on our soapbox about it. And so,
is that collective?
Yeah, that's we.
No,
that's actually French. It's just we. Yeah.
But you know, but the thing is that the ideology behind that is he feels like, hey, if you're going to have a complaint about the week, take it into the weekend. Don't start the week complaining. I mean, it sets the wrong tone. So we complain about something at the end of the week.
Okay.
I'll try that.
But we're about to go into break. But before we do, I want to first say that if someone does want to get in touch with you about PR, the best place for them to go to is where?
They can go to my website, but they can also call. I like phone calls. I get way too many emails, so please call 281-286-9398, extension 1.
That's 9398 extension. That's
yes.
28. Excuse me. Give the number again.
281-286-9398, extension 1.
And your website?
www.pennino, Pennino, partners with an S.com, and that will be updated soon. I'm too busy taking care of everybody else to update my own.
Okay, so you have to listen to the show that we
did
on your website.
Oh boy!
Now,
I
know what to do. I just have to take care of it.
Don't we always? You know, it's just getting around to that. It's like number 386 on my daily
Everybody else
agenda.
gets taken care of first.
Okay.
That's
now,
right.
before we go into break, tell me, what exactly is PR?
Well, I'll tell you what it's not. A lot of people think that public relations is advertising, but PR is what we call earned media. So it's what we influence or guide, suggest. We do not pay for the space that we get with radio, TV, or print. So we
Okay.
have to influence that, which means we cannot guarantee it, or yeah, if a client wants a guarantee, they need to buy an ad.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
So when you say influence, I mean, you're trying to persuade someone to put
Yeah,
something about you in the media or
yeah,
about your
right.
business, your
Well,
product, your service.
exactly,
Okay.
because what we want is a client to have merit.
Hmm.
So it's part topic, part person, part timing.
Okay.
So talent, timing, topic.
Okay. And everything, I'm certain that when clients come to you, everything is not media worthy. So
Exactly.
how do you deal with telling them that in a polite way?
I'm pretty direct.
Why does that not shock me?
I'm pretty direct.
Well, I
about
tell you
it.
what, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about some of the directisms that you might have to
Okay.
use when you're dealing with clients.
Okay.
Our guest today is Miss Laura Pennino. She is the CEO of Pennino and Partners. She has 30 years of journalism and public relations experience. So we're going to talk about PR, what PR means to your business, some things that you can do if you're working on a skeleton budget. So she's going to give some hints and tips that should empower your small business. So stay with us. You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes, which is brought to you by Small Business Today magazine. It is the magazine that is for and about Houston's entrepreneurs. To get your free copy of the publication that we produce every month, go to smallbusinesstodaymagazine.com, put in your information, and we'll gladly send one to you on the double. More in a moment with Miss Laura Pennino.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Steven, how do I make radio advertising work?
or even worse,
We've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
so how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now,
Excuse me, heavy news?
you know, disasters, politics, stock market,
And this alternative is...
coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
With my Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus headset, I'm free. Free to talk to you while carrying a laptop bag, holding a cup of coffee, and fishing for my car keys. Now, you may ask me, Jim, is it really necessary to use the phone while doing all these things? My answer is it really necessary not to? Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus. It's my so comfortable, why wouldn't I use it all day headset.
Get your Voyager Pro Plus at Plantronics.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today. Visit us on the web at cruzandhughes.com. Here are your hosts, Cruz and Hughes.
Okay, welcome back to the show. Our guest today is Miss Laura Pennino. She is the CEO of Pennino and Partners. She has more than 30 years of experience in journalism and public relations. So we're talking about public relations, what it means to your business, how you can use public relations to enhance your business. Laura, I think my summation, if you will, of PR is that most small businesses do not use it at all.
That's true.
And the ones who do make an attempt really don't know what they're doing. So what's some of the first things that you do when you're considering taking on a new client? I mean, how do I know what's marketable, what's newsworthy about my business? What are some of those things that you ask so that we can sort of develop what we need to be pushing?
Well, it always starts, in my opinion, from a messaging standpoint. What are we trying to say? So regardless of the size of the business, we all need what I call key messages. So first is an identity message. Who are we? Who is this company? Who is this entity? So it's the who we are identity message. The second is, what do we do? What's the product? What's the service? So what is the offering? And then the third is, why are we different? You know, what makes us better, special, unique, interesting, those kinds of things. And then the fourth thing is what I call the why it matters message. What are the benefits? The benefits to the client, the benefits to the community, benefits to suppliers, to employees if you have employees. And then finally, it's what's the vision? Where are you headed? So if you work through that initially, that helps to frame up what the organization or the company is. And then really it goes back to the business objectives of the organization or the company. What are you trying to achieve from a revenue standpoint, from a geography standpoint, from a industry standpoint, or what I call industry sector standpoint? Who are your priorities? So once you focus on that priority, then everything else should fall within that.
Now, Laura, that sounds like a ton of information for a small business owner to sort of muddle through. Do you help them pull that out? I mean, some of these guys, I would guess, my being one of them, would not necessarily know what some of their key differentiators are with regard to their competitors and so on. So do you help them walk through that?
Yes, we do. And often I'll have a facilitated workshop, depending on the size of the business.
Sure.
I mean, some of my clients are sole proprietors, S corps. Some of them are one-person operations or two-person operations. But then I have very large multi-billion-dollar companies. So it really varies. But regardless of the size, it really helps with a workshop. And the workshop is to say, okay, let's think through all this, and we can go through the mission, the vision, the values, and I'll ask a series of questions.
Sure.
What do your clients say about you? Or if you don't have clients yet, what do you want to be? How do you want to be perceived as better or different or more interesting? As you know, I have, fashion designers and law firms and jet brokers, and, there's a common thread, and with all of them, we have to be able to communicate succinctly.
Sure.
When I'm calling a TV station or a radio group or anyone about those clients, I have to be able to say what that client does really quickly. I don't have a long time. It's seconds.
Now, what do you do if you take on a client that's, just really in just a boring business? How do you get them noticed in the media?
Well, let me explain. I'll give you a great example of that. I worked with a company. I was actually in-house for this company, and now it's called Forney Corporation, but at the time it was called Forney Engineering, Forney Engineering, and it was a division of Foster Wheeler Corporation. Foster Wheeler is a big Fortune 500 company, but our division was only an $80 million subsidiary. And what our group did was safety systems.
Oh, boy.
Safety systems and combustion systems. And so to the average consumer, that's not very exciting.
Right.
But for that audience, it's hugely important. And so I actually taught myself how to do PR at that particular company. Wow. I was put in a position at 25 because I had the background in writing and communications, and the executive said, wow, she seems to know what she's doing. Let's give her a chance. We've never had PR. So I had to start from ground up. And what I realized pretty quickly was, first of all, the average person didn't care. So I had to focus on my audience. What was my audience? Well, my audience was power plants, utility companies, pulp and paper mills, food processing plants. So we had to really gear all of our work to the audience that would care.
Right.
And so once you do that, it's not really hard. It's just we found case studies and showed how our client was successful, worked with customers of my, well, not my client, but my company at the time, the company I worked for. So we went to Exxon and others and said, hey, would you talk about your project with us? So situation, challenge, solutions, results. So you can take something that seems very boring
Right.
and really prove how that particular project was effective.
Well, I think the good point with that, Irvin, is that part of it is knowing who your audience is, number one. So you have to develop that, I would think, before you could develop any type of campaign.
Exactly.
And I'm certain that that's probably where most small business owners start to go awry,
right?
Because you talk about all the time on this show about the fact that you have to know who your customer is.
That's right.
Before you can start modeling your product so that it's competitive in your area, in your industry.
That's right. Laura, do you find small business owners run into a situation, or perhaps you've run across small business owners where, because they're not quite sure or not quite educated on what PR is, that they sort of have a mixed message all over the place? Because I found that a lot of small business owners don't really know what the message needs to be or should be, and so consequently they've got a mixed message. It's like a message that's just scattered all around.
Well, the bottom line for all of us is the bottom line. We want to make money.
Sure.
Right.
And what I see often with small businesses is often the business owner is stretched too thin. And there are times when that business owner may need to delegate the public relations function to someone else in the company. That just because that individual founded the company doesn't mean that person is really the best.
Or should be talking.
Or should be talking.
That's right.
And I'll give a scenario. There's a situation that occurred in 2003, I believe, and I had gone to work with a law firm, and I told the lawyer who owned the firm, hey, if you have any clients who ever need PR, just let them know that I'm available. Oh, no, my clients are all really small. They never need that. They never need PR. I said, okay, well, that's fine. They might, there might be a crisis situation sometimes, and just let me know. Well, literally 2 weeks later, I got a phone call. I had just left the gym. I was in my yoga clothes, and I get a phone call from that attorney, and he says, how close are you to Rocheron, Texas?
Oh.
I said, well, from where I am right now, about 45 minutes to an hour. He said, how fast can you get there? There's just been an explosion at my client's facility.
Oh, wow.
So I said, well, I can get there pretty fast. Well, the TV media were already there, and the satellite trucks were there. The birds were flying. The satellite bird was peering in. They knew and could see more than I could.
Right.
So I got there, and my lawyer client's on the phone. He said, well, can you put John on the phone? Can you put him in front of the camera? And I said, wait a minute, Stuart. This guy just saw 5 of his people badly injured, 2 of them killed right away. I don't think so.
Right.
I don't think this is a good idea.
Right.
So part of it is to know the situation and the circumstances. And this particular guy, the owner of this facility, was a great person, but he'd never experienced the death of employees and serious injury of his employees. He was shell-shocked.
Sure.
So he was definitely not the person that we should put in front of the TV media. And there were 3 things we were going to say. Our thoughts are with the victims and their families.
That's right.
We're going to cooperate fully with investigators, and the cause of the accident, it's too early to determine that. So that was it. No matter what I was asked, that was going to be the message. Those were the messages.
Sure.
And then a few months later, it came out what the cause was, and at that point, we were able to comment.
Wow. And and I guess I've never really given too much thought, Irvin, about how a crisis could really call for you to need a PR person. How often have we seen a camera stuck in the face of an executive at the moment that some bad news comes out?
That's exactly
and they make it completely worse by what they say. It's like, I mean, did nobody prep this guy?
Yeah.
Or
worse, don't say anything at all.
Right. Just run straight to the limo.
That's right. That's exactly right. Pull your comb over your eyes. It's like unbelievable.
Well, now, how did you get into the PR business?
Oh, it's so interesting. I actually wanted to be a veterinarian. I
You know,
really,
I,
I
I,
really
I can see the
wanted.
connection,
Yeah,
Herb.
I can see that.
Yeah, woo, woo. I really wanted to be a veterinarian. I grew up with horses and dogs, and I grew up on some acreage just north of New Orleans. And the truth of the matter is that I always loved writing, and I just loved writing. And of course, I'd write about kids and animals and my friends, and I'd produce plays for my Girl Scout troop when I was like 9 or 10 years old. I
So
would
you're
do
very
that.
creative.
I love that part. And as I approached high school, reality starts setting in, and you go, okay, wait a minute. Going to college takes money. Going to veterinary school is going to take more money. It's going to take longer, and my family doesn't have any money.
Mm.
And so, how am I going to do this? So, practicality kicked in for me, and I was like, well, writing. I can do the writing. I could always write, and I can always love animals. I can do that. So I actually had a teacher, a high school teacher, who directed me to a scholarship, and I got a scholarship in journalism all through college at LSU. I breezed through in 3.5 years.
Wow.
Wait a second. LSU?
Yeah,
You
three and a
finished
half
LSU?
years. I didn't do the 5-year plan.
Wow, that's
Hey,
impressive.
if you don't have money, you don't want to be more years without money,
look,
right?
Look, Laura's saying you can't be out here messing around when you ain't got no money.
Kicking it.
Yes,
So-
that's exactly right. Laura, we're going to hold you right there. I am thrilled about you being on the show. Folks, let me tell you what. If you are a small business and you're in our audience and you don't quite have a public relations person, or maybe you got questions about what public relations it is, let me just tell you what. You want to make sure you take some notes and get Laura's contact information. Or, you know what? You can join in the conversation. You can give us a call at 347-857-3958. Folks, you're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. It's brought to you by Dominion Commercial Credit. Dominion Commercial Credit offers business credit and contract financing for small businesses nationwide. You can give them a call today at 800-381-0073 or visit net30credit.com. More in a moment with Laura Pennino right after this.
Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now,
Excuse me, heavy news?
you know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
With my Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus headset, I'm free. Free to talk to you while carrying a laptop bag, holding a cup of coffee, and fishing for my car keys. Now, you may ask me, Jim, is it really necessary to use the phone while doing all these things? My answer is it really necessary not to? Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus. It's my so comfortable, why wouldn't I use it all day headset.
Get your Voyager Pro Plus at Plantronics.com.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
or even worse,
We've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
so how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz.
You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're wherever you are.
Okay, welcome back to the show. Our guest today is Miss Laura Pennino. She is the CEO of Pennino and Partners. If you are in need of some PR, you have some questions, you have a campaign that you're thinking about doing, you should give Laura a call. You can reach her at 281-286-9398. That's extension 1. And again, that number is 281-286-9398, extension 1. Or you can go to her website, PenninoandPartners.com, and Pennino is spelled Pennino. Now, Laura, do you take clients nationwide?
Yes.
So someone in Sarasota could give you a phone call?
Yeah, I work with clients all over
New
the
York?
world.
Okay.
Yeah, I work with clients all over the world. I've had calls by Skype,
All right.
to South Africa and Sydney, and I worked for I've really done international work my whole career, so I'm comfortable with
And does it ever call for you to have to be there, go to meet the client physically, or can everything that you do be done remotely here from your office?
Well, it depends on the project.
Okay.
It really depends on the project, and it depends on the situation. When I worked for a big international PR firm, it was interesting because even though I was based in Dallas first and Houston, I would get called out to go support clients all over the country. So in that case, it's based on your expertise. So wherever your expertise is needed, you would go in and support that. So even though we had people in New York and people in Chicago, or because your chemistry is a better fit. I mean, there was a time when I had to fly back from Australia earlier than my husband at the time to go to a meeting in New York because that client demanded me. So it really just depends on the situation. But so much now can be done by phone and email and Skype.
Now, for me, I'm still a little shady.
I was just about to say.
I'm still a little shady on
especially with that hat.
Yeah, if you're watching us on Cruz and Hughes, I am sporting my 10-gallon Stetson. So
the shady hat.
It's Go Texan Day. But my question is, tell me, what do you do as a PR person? What does it really entail? I mean, I know you might have this little bag of tricks and secrets that you conjure up, and all of a sudden you get my company noticed. But what is it that you're doing?
Before you hit that, I just need to know, what is PR? Give me, I know it ought to be obvious in how I relate to the public, but I want to know from a professional, what is PR?
Okay, so PR obviously is public relations.
Right.
And it is not advertising, as we said before.
Sure.
Okay, so public relations there's a big umbrella.
Okay.
And there are a lot of skill sets that fall under that. But it's media relations and publicity, writing. It can be community outreach. It can be working with professional organizations and business organizations. Different components of it may even be working with special events. So it is there is a broad spectrum.
Okay.
I choose to focus on 5 or 6 key service areas because it's like being a doctor.
Oh, gotcha.
It's the same thing. You may have a podiatrist and a cardiologist, and you may have a brain surgeon, and they're all doctors.
Yeah, you may have an ophthalmologist and so on.
Right. So I focus on skill sets and promote that. So my skill sets personally are strategy and planning. That's 1. Writing. 2. Media relations, publicity. 3. Issues, crisis communications. 4. Strategic alliances or relationship building. 5. And then as another part of this, there's what's called industry analyst relations, which can be working. That's mostly for technology companies. Mm-hmm. They need that. You're helping to build relationships with that group, and then sometimes special events. I will say that a lot of entry level PR people will say, I want to be an event planner, or, oh, I want to work in sports PR or entertainment PR, because there's a perception that PR is so glamorous.
Yeah.
And as Victoria, our intern, is learning, who's in our audience today, there's not a lot of glamour all the time. It's not always easy.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of details. Most people don't realize the level of detail, and we can't force anything to happen. It doesn't matter how many reporters I know or how many editors I know. If there's not a need and a connection for that information, it doesn't matter who I know.
Right. Now, so then is it fair to say that your goal for the PR that you're doing should be sales or should be business that comes into your business? That is it fair to track PR in that fashion?
Well, some attempt to do that, and there are times when some PR firms can do incentive-based projects. What is true, though, is as a PR professional, I am not responsible for the sales team.
Right.
I'm not responsible for customer service. I'm not responsible for delivery. So if my performance as a PR professional is tied to that, it may not really be fair.
Gotcha.
Because I don't have control over those other functions within an organization. When we do take on a client, and many of my clients will hear this, I'm not going to promise you anything. I will say that. I can't promise you that the phone's going to ring. I can tell you that even if I get you the best article in the world in the Wall Street Journal or Houston Chronicle or Forbes or Inc. or Entrepreneur, I can't promise you you're going to get one phone call.
Right.
But will it do? It'll increase exposure for your organization. Sure. Can you take what we placed for you, what we secured for you, and leverage it back, to your employees and your sales team? Sure. Yeah. But I can never promise. And I have some clients, if their budgets are very tight, I will say, please keep your money.
Yep.
Please keep your money.
Yep.
I will do that.
Now, then, how do you go about hiring a good PR person? If I'm a small business and I'm looking to, I know that I'm ready to get some PR work done. I'm ready to find someone who can take that on for me. How do I qualify that person?
Well, there are a few ways. One is to look at the credentials. What are the credentials of the professional you're looking at? Does that person have longevity in the industry? Are there strong references? Anybody who isn't sure about me can pick up the phone and call people I know. I'll say, here, please check my references. I encourage you to check my references, because don't give me a hard time.
Right.
Don't give me a hard time and make me, crazy because you're not sure if you should hire me. Do a Google search.
Sure.
Are these PR professionals getting out there? Are they speaking about PR? Do you see their names in the media too? If anybody does a Google search for Laura and Pennino, you'll find a lot of information that you can use for free. If you can see press releases we've done, you can model those if you need that. So, but going back to how to hire, there's another point. There has to be the right chemistry fit.
Sure.
There has to be a cultural fit. I'm one of those people who I don't think I've ever met a stranger, but that doesn't mean that it's going to always work.
Right.
There are some people who try to make my life crazy, and it's like, if that's going to happen at the beginning, then we're not a match.
Yeah. So that means that you don't always take every single client also.
No, and I really wouldn't recommend that.
Yeah.
Also, if someone is a business owner and they are looking at hiring a PR firm, I would recommend that they talk to other business owners they know and ask, who have you worked with?
Sure.
Who do you like in your area or your state or your region of the country? Who do you like? Why do you like them? And I also recommend, if you're not sure, pick three. Pick three different, a minimum of three. Okay. Don't interview 20. That's a little silly. But maybe pick 3 to 5 that you want to talk to. And I would also say, don't make people jump through hoops.
Right.
Don't ask for a full-blown plan when you're not even sure if you're going to hire these people.
Yeah.
So I usually recommend ask for capabilities, credentials, and references, maybe some work samples, and then sit down and look at a plan. Look at the plan and the approach. Some small businesses really are not adequately budgeted for PR. And to be honest, if there's a small budget, I personally would rather see them learn what to do and let them use their budget and hire somebody internally. but use a PR consultant like me or one of my colleagues around the country to help them jumpstart themselves.
Now, and as you talk about budget, I mean, and I know that your campaigns can be tailored,
Right.
where you could probably spend in the hundreds of thousands of dollars on a PR
Exactly.
campaign. But for a small business, what is a budget, that an entry level budget to get some exposure, that you should, pretty much think that, hey, I need to have this if I'm going to start looking to hire someone outside?
Realistically, and this might make some people gasp, but realistically, about $50,000 for a year would be minimum. Now, yes, there are some things we can do for $2,000 a month or $3,000 a month, but it's really hard to get anywhere fast.
Now, Laura, wait a minute. I mean, $50,000 for a year. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to tell you what. I think a PR disaster is going to cost a heck of a lot more than $50,000 for a year.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. That's an entry level.
Right.
So a small business that's just getting started, I would say minimum $3,000 to $5,000 a month is realistic, because then you can have ongoing programs.
Sure.
And what a lot of new clients don't realize is how much time it takes for us to be, even when we're good, even when we know the right client media to call or the right projects to pursue, it takes time.
Right.
And I'm not saying that it's going to be 6 months before you ever get an interview, but it may take a month.
Yeah.
A couple months.
You got to get that wheel moving.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? We're coming up on break, Laura, but when we come back, I really want, if you would, to give our audience some creative kinds of things that they should be doing. Is that all right?
Absolutely.
Okay, folks, you're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. It's brought to you by RingCentral.com. To get RingCentral's virtual PBX for your business, you can give them a call today at 888-716-5022. Stay with us, folks. The education continues with Laura Pennino right after this.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
or even worse,
We've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
so how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at,
Excuse me, heavy news?
you know, disasters, politics, stock market,
And this alternative is...
coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
With my Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus headset, I'm free. Free to talk to you while carrying a laptop bag, holding a cup of coffee, and fishing for my car keys. Now, you may ask me, Jim, is it really necessary to use the phone while doing all these things? My answer is it really necessary not to? Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus. It's my so comfortable, why wouldn't I use it all day headset.
Get your Voyager Pro Plus at Plantronics.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today. Visit us on the web at cruiseandhughes.com. Here are your hosts, Cruz and Hughes.
Okay, welcome back to the show. Our guest today is Miss Laura Pennino. She is the CEO of Pennino and Partners, and today we're talking about everything public relations. Laura has more than 30 years experience in journalism and PR, and we're going to talk now in this segment a little bit about what you can do with your small budget if you are a small business before you have to hire somebody outside your firm. So, Laura, what are some of those things that you think small business people need to be focused on?
Well, there are things out there, as we all know, that are free. You can get a Facebook page. You can tweet. You can.
Well, that's PR.
Well, it's promotion.
Okay.
It's getting your name out there. Obviously, the website. Your website is, for some businesses, it's more important than others. My client base is predominantly referral based. I've only gotten one client because somebody found me on the internet, and that's really because with my business, my professional services, you want to be vetted.
Okay.
So people might go to a website to validate, but depending on your industry, you may not get hired because of that. But that is a public-facing tool, and it doesn't cost a whole lot. If you're a small business, you can use these web development packages, with GoDaddy or Web.com or some of the others, and then the hosting fee isn't that much. So for some companies, that's a very basic thing. The other thing that most businesses should do is create a company fact sheet. It's very straightforward.
Now, what is a fact sheet?
A fact sheet is just a bulleted overview, just key points about the company. They can be elaborate or not. It can be as simple as having your logo on a plain sheet of paper that you can then create a PDF with and send around. If you want to make it nicer, you can find a graphic designer to help with that. But a fact sheet is really great because it's very handy. What's the location? Who are the executives? What are the services? How many employees? What is what geography do you serve? And I have plenty of samples of those that clients can see.
Laura, you bring up a good point. With regard to information about the company, I've seen company websites that have almost like a news section.
Right.
Do you recommend that for a company? Is that a good thing or bad thing? Does it matter at all?
It's great to have a news and events section.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's no news, right? If you're just starting out, there may not be any news. Well, what's great is start looking at ways to create some news or to produce some news. If you have a new employee, short press release about that employee.
Right.
A new product or service, short press release about what that product or service is and does. The other thing that's really important and that companies and business owners can do on their own is look at their bio. Their bio is important, or the leadership team bio, or the management team bio.
Sure.
Very important, and many of us get hired because of our bios. If someone looks at our experience, and it's nice if you can to put some of your hobbies, because sometimes there's a tiebreaker. If all the service, all the experience is equal or comparable from one person to another, what's going to make someone say, "I rescue dogs"? I love dogs.
Well,
I'm going back to my
point.
veterinarian plan, love dogs. And I have, my second rescue Sheltie, who's actually rather tall. But, that it's interesting. You never know what's going to resonate with someone. So don't be afraid to mention a hobby. If someone likes cutting horses and they're in cutting horse competitions, or if they like wine or, craft beer making, whatever it might be, there could be a common thread.
So do you recommend small business owners when they're trying to get going, maybe perhaps trying to get their company name or even their own name out there, do you recommend that they write or publish articles?
Yes.
Does that help or no?
It can help. Again,
or could that get them in trouble?
Depends on the article. Depends on what they're saying.
That's why they need you.
Well, or people like me.
I mean, if I write an article, I would think as a small business owner, Laura, if I wrote an article before I publish that thing, I would want somebody like you to look at it.
It's a great idea to have someone who knows what they're doing
Sure.
looking at that. I will point out that there are different services that are available for free.
Okay.
University of Houston Small Business Development Center is just one example of many small business development centers around the country. There are also workshops that small business owners can tap into. There are books. There are YouTube, tutorials. There are a lot of things that people can do for free. Now, as you get a little more sophisticated, you may want to amp it up a bit and get, someone who is able to look over your shoulder. Some of my clients will say, hey, look, I'll just edit it for you. You write it, I'll edit it. I will say that sometimes the writing is so bad that it would have just been better that I wrote it myself. But
right.
But if a business owner wants to try, I do want to say something about an article. Herb, you mentioned that, and it's really important if someone is writing for a magazine, it's important to not make it look like a commercial.
Certainly.
John Smith Realty is so wonderful because it's more like tips. What should you look for when hiring a realtor? What should you look for with getting a home inspection?
Right.
What should you expect at the closing? So just more tips and not go, this is how great we are. Because if your information is good, it's going to speak for itself.
No doubt.
Now then, a small business then should really have all of these things that they can do themselves in place to get, I would think, the biggest bang for their buck when they're ready to hire someone like you. I mean, I would only expect that these things could enhance or probably improve the overall outcome of what you're going to be able to do for them.
That's true. I mean, I've worked with a lot of startups, especially in the tech sector. Startups that were well capitalized in late 99 and early 2000s and 2000. And then, of course, we had the boom and the bust. But many of my clients were pre-revenue companies, and they might have had an internal marketing person. So we knew where those companies wanted to go, but we were helping them with all these materials, fact sheets, bios, case, articles to create interest in the services that they were offering, sometimes 6 or 7 months ahead of when those products were ready.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And there were times when, we had a client that collapsed. I mean, they shuttered their doors, and we had already spent a lot of time and money taking care of them. Yep.
I know that hurts.
Oh yeah, it did. $45,000.
Oh, well. Now, at what point did you decide in your career that you wanted to run your own firm?
I didn't. I didn't.
You still don't?
Sometimes I don't.
That's because you're the CEO.
Sometimes I don't.
All of us who are in that seat feel like that at least 3 times a year.
Well, you know what I hear sometimes? People say, well, do you love what you do? And I go, sometimes. The reality is some people say, oh, you're so good with people, but that's just one part of it. There are times when you don't like people at all.
Absolutely.
Sometimes the people and the personalities are extremely difficult. But what I would say, you're asking how I got into this and how I went to my own business. I really didn't want to have my own business. I wanted to work part-time and have kids. I mean, to be totally candid, I worked for a global PR firm. I was working 60 to 80 hours a week. I was exhausted. I got promoted 8 times in 9 years. I reported to 7 different people in those 9 years. I covered a lot of people's backsides in some of that time, and I was just wiped out.
Yeah.
I mean, I was wiped out. I really didn't have a whole lot of energy. I didn't even care to start a business. I just wanted to work part-time, have babies, cook great dinners at night, have great wine, talk to my neighbors for a change. I mean, I just wanted to have a life.
It sounds like Laura wanted to be normal.
Yeah.
Do you want to be normal? Stick around, because when we come back, we're going to ask Laura how to be normal. So you don't want to go away. You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. It's brought to you by Sales Nexus. You can sign up today for a free trial copy of Sales Nexus by visiting salesnexus.com or giving them a call at 888-267-3589. Stay with us. We'll be right back after these messages.
Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at,
Excuse me, heavy news?
you know, disastrous politics, stock
And
market.
this alternative is
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
free.
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
With my Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus headset, I'm free. Free to talk to you while carrying a laptop bag, holding a cup of coffee, and fishing for my car keys. Now, you may ask me, Jim, is it really necessary to use the phone while doing all these things? My answer is it really necessary not to? Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus. It's my so comfortable, why wouldn't I use it all day headset.
Get your Voyager Pro Plus at Plantronics.com.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
or even worse,
We've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
so how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz.
You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're wherever you are.
Okay, welcome back to the show. Our guest today has been Miss Laura Pennino. We've been talking about public relations, and we hope that you've been able to take some tips away from this show. Laura's given a bunch of good information that any small business person would be well in their right minds to use as you try to advance your name, your footprint, and gain market share. If you want to contact Laura outside of this program, you can do so by calling her at 286-9398, and that's extension 1. And you could go to her website, which is penninoandpartners.com, and Pennino is Pennino. Now, Laura, we have a couple minutes left. Why don't we close out with a few more tips that small business people can do to advance their businesses?
Well, we were talking about the importance of the bio. Right. Because people who are going to do business with us want to know about us,
sure.
Right? They want to know, can I trust these people? What are their skill sets? So bios are very important. And if you're not sure, go online and look at other websites and look at other bios of companies similar to yours. So that's one thing. The second thing, we talked about the fact sheet. That's really simple. Boom, boom, boom. That can be used in a lot of ways. What's great about that is it can be used in a sales meeting. It can be used for recruiting employees. It can be used on your website. So there's lots and lots of uses for that. Case studies are really important. Now, a case study is really more for a company that's going to establish client base. Or if you said, gosh, how am I going to get a case study done? That's a lot of work. At a minimum, it's great to get a customer testimonial. Just get a quick quote,
All right.
So those are a few things.
Well, Laura, we really appreciate you coming on the air today.
Thank you for having me.
We'd love to have you come back and talk about PR again because we do know that it is important.
Well, crisis communications is a big one, so I'd be happy to help with that.
All right.
Absolutely. It's a date. Guys, we want to thank you for tuning in to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. I'm John Cruz.
I'm Irv Hughes.
And this is the place where we discuss the topics that inspires entrepreneurs from thought to action. And until Monday, we want you to do 3 things for us. Be smart, be successful, and above all else,
be in action.
And you're going to cut me off, huh?
No, man, you got the hat on.
Have a great weekend, Irvin. I will see you on Monday.
Take care.